Squire Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and the rest of these gentlemen, having asked me to write down the whole particulars about Treasure Island, from the beginning to the end, keeping nothing back but the bearings of the island, and that only because there is still treasure not yet lifted. I take up my pen in the year of grace 1700, and go back to the time when my father kept the Admiral Benbow Inn, and the brown old seaman with the sabre cut first took up his lodging under our roof. I remember him as if it were yesterday. "15 men on a dead man's chair, still, and a bottle of rum. Here comes the captain. I must go and see to his supper, Jim. I wonder who he is, Mother. He hangs around the cliffs all day with his telescope and never speaks to anyone. Well, hardly, not since the day Black Dog came. He's a wrong un, if ever I saw one. What your poor father would have said if he'd been alive, I dread to think." "Ah, there you are, Jim boy. Have you seen him yet?" "No, Captain, not yet." "Well, don't forget. Keep your eye open for a seafaring man with one leg, and there's a silver fourpenny piece for you on the 1st of every month." "I want none of your money, but what you owe my mother." "Easy, mate, easy. You saw that seafaring man the other day?" "Black Dog?" "Ah, Black Dog. He's a bad un. But there's worse that set him on. Old Flint's crew, all that's left of 'em. I was the first mate, and the only one as knows the place. It's my old sea chest they're after. He gave it to me when he lay a-dying. But you won't peach unless they get me, or you see that Black Dog again. Or a seafaring man with one leg. Him above all." "No, Captain, but draw me a glass, Jim. There's a good lad. I'll take it in there." "Who's that? Why, it looks like a blind man." "Will any kind friend inform a blind man where he may now be?" "You are at the Admiral Benbow, my good man." "Ah, there's a voice, a young voice. Will you give me a hand, my kind young friend, and lead me in?" "Now, boy, take me to the captain." "Sir, upon my word, I dare not." "Oh, that's it. Take me in straight, or I'll break your arm. Lead me to him, and say, 'Here's a friend for you, Bill.'" "Yes, sir." "Here's a friend for you, Bill." "Now, Bill, sit where you are. And that's the last warning." Pew, pew, come back. Oh, my God. "What's the matter, Captain?" "It's my heart, boy. Quick, fetch that doctor swab. I must lie down." "Mother, come quickly." "Yes, dear. What's the matter?" "He's dead. The blind man said something about a last warning." "Well, whatever it was, good riddance." "What about the county owes you?" Lock the door, Jim. Dim the lights and draw the blinds. They might come and watch outside. Get the key. It would probably be round his neck. Yes, Mother. And here's a bundle tied up in oilcloth. It looks like papers. And here's a canvas bag. Gold, Mother. I'll show these rogues that I'm an honest woman. I'll have my dues and not a farthing more. Hush. Mother, take the horse and let's be going to the hall. Squire Trelawney and Doctor will know what's best to do. I'll take what I'm owed, and I'll take the oilskin packet. Squire's library that night. And so, Jim, was this the thing they were after? Yes, Dr. Livesey. I'm sure of it. And so is Mother. After what the captain said about old Flint's crew. Trelawney, you've heard about Flint, I suppose? Heard of him? He was the bloodthirstiest buccaneer that sailed. Blackbeard was a child to Flint. Haven't you heard the story? That map? It's the map of an island with latitude, longitude, soundings, and every particular. And look, Livesey, and you, Jim, that cross in red ink, and the words, bulk of treasure, buried here. A blockhouse and stockade too. And that note in the margin, tall tree, spyglass hill. And it says the bar silver is in the North Cache. Livesey, tomorrow I start for Bristol. We'll have the best ship and the choicest crew in England. We'll have favourable winds and not the least difficulty in finding the spot. And money to eat, to roll in ever after. Trelawney, I'll go with you and I'll go bail for it. So will Jim. There's only one man I'm afraid of. And who's that? Name the dog, sir. You. For you cannot hold your tongue. And these fellows are bold, desperate blades. Jim and I will stay and wait here together while you take your men and ride to Bristol. And from first to last, not one of us must breathe a word of what we found. Livesey, you are always in the right of it. I'll be as silent as the grave. Bristol docks, a month later. Here you are. The ship's company complete. Hold you, sir. When do we sail? Sail? We sail tomorrow. There she lies in midstream, the Hispaniola, all fitted and ready for sea. Had no trouble at all. Worked like niggers as soon as they got wind of the port we sailed for. Treasure, I mean. Trelawney, I don't like the sound of that. Nonsense, my dear sir. Almost at once I found the very man I needed, an old sailor who keeps a public house and knows every seafaring man in Bristol. Long John Silver he's called, and has lost a leg. Between the two of us, we got together a company of the toughest old salts imaginable. Why, here he is. Livesey, this is John Silver. Silver, this is Dr. Livesey. And this is our cabin boy, Jim Hawkins. Good day, gentlemen. My best respects. The doctor and I have business, so you and Jim can get acquainted. All hands on board by 4 this afternoon. Aye, aye, sir. Stop him! It's Black Dog! What did you say? Black what? Dog, sir. Has Mr. Trelawney not told you of the Buccaneers? He was one of them. He looked a shark, he did. I'll make inquiries. Meanwhile, seeing as you and me are to be shipmates, we'll take a look at the ship. Ah, here comes our captain, Dr. Livesey. Captain Smollett. Well, Captain, what news? All shipshape and seaworthy? Well, sir, better speak plain. I don't like this cruise. I don't like the men, and I don't like my officers. That's short and sweet. I don't like treasure voyages on any account, and especially when the secret has been blabbed. Well, that's clear, but you say you don't like the crew. I don't like them, sir. And I think I should have had the choosing of my own hands. Perhaps so. But the slight was unintentional. Tell us what you want. Well, they are putting the powder and the arms in the forehold. Put them under the cabin. In other words, you fear a mutiny. I ask you to take precautions, that's all. Aboard the Hispaniola, evening. Squire Trelawney may be right, Dr. Livesey, but spoil forecastle hands and make devils. That's my belief. This barrel of apples, for instance. Even young Jim here. Not content with taking one apple, but climbs inside. There are only a few left at the bottom, Doctor. I could not reach them. I never knew good coming of it. Come, Doctor. Well, Dick, as I was saying, they was the roughest crew afloat was Flints, and all aboard this ship now. All as is left of them, by thunder. But you may be sure of yourself in old John's ship. Oh, Israel, Hans, Israel. Dick here is square. So that's the lot. But what I wants to know is how long we're going to stand off. Israel, you live hard. and you'll speak soft, and you'll keep sober till I give you the word. But what I say is when. When? By the hour. The last moment I can manage it, that's when. Let them find the stuff by their blessed mouth and help to get it aboard. And then we'll see. Dick, give me an apple from that barrel. Oh, stow that. Let's have a go at rum. We'll drink to old Flint and his treasure. Come below. Flint's crew? Buccaneers? I should have guessed. Lando! Lando! The cabin, next morning. And so, Captain, you were right and I was wrong. I own myself an ass and await your orders. No more of an ass than I, sir. I never knew of a crew that meant mutiny, but showed it before. First, we must go on because we can't turn back. They'd rise at once. Second, we have time before us, at least until the treasure's found. Third, there are some faithful hands. Fourth, when it comes to blows, I intend to do so when they least expect it. Jim here can help us, more than anyone, as he has done. The men aren't shy with him, and he's a noticing lad. Hawkins, I put prodigious faith in you. Yes, sir, I'll do my best. At the moment, there is one man we can rely on. And who is that? Why, Silver, sir. He's as anxious as we are to smother things up till he's ready to strike. And I propose to give him the chance. We'll allow the man an afternoon ashore. It'll ease the tension. And you mark my words, sir, Silver'll bring 'em back under control. We'll fire a gun half an hour before sundown. I'll go with them, sir. They'll trust me. Very well, Jim, but be careful. On the island that afternoon. So this is Treasure Island. How quiet it seems. No wonder old Flint chose it as a hiding place. Hello, what's that? No. Oh, yes, he will. John Silver, long you've been mate of mine. Be a mate of mine no more. If I die like a dog, I'll die in my duty. I defies you. Murder. The fiends, what shall I do? I daren't go back to them, for they'll know I heard that cry. Is the matey? Who was that? A friend? Friend? Where? Who are you? Ben Gunn! I'm poor Ben Gunn, I am, and I haven't spoken with a Christian these 3 years. 3 years? Were you shipwrecked? Nay, mate, marooned. Marooned 3 years ago. Now what do you call yourself? Jim. Jim. Well now, Jim, I've lived rough, as you'd be ashamed to hear of, but I'm rich. You'll bless your stars, you will, that you was the first that found me. Now, Jim, tell me the truth. That ain't Flint's ship. No, Ben, that ship belongs to Squire Trelawney. But we know all about Flint's treasure. Would he be likely to come down to the tune of, say, £1,000? Out of money that's as good as a man's already? I can't tell anyone, unless I get aboard. There's my boat, as I made with my 2 hands. There becomes a fight. The stockade, old Flint's stockade. There's your friends, look. They've hoisted the Jack. Silver would have hoisted the Jolly Roger. Then come with me. Nay, mate, not with you. Ben Gunn is fly. He is, but you won't forget my words. A precious sight. And when Ben is wanted, you'll find him here. Oh, and you'll say this. Ben Gunn, says you, has reasons of his own. You won't forget, a precious sight. And reasons of his own, says you. Very well, I'll tell them. Jim arrives at the stockade. Oh, blaze away, you've got enough powder left, my lads. The blockhouse is quite invisible from the ship. Must be the flag they're aiming at. Would it not be wise to take it in? Strike my colours? No, sir, not I. There are only 2 of them on board, Hans and one of the others. I hated leaving the ship to them, but we took the only possible course after hearing that cry. Yes, poor Jim. Somebody hailing us, sir, from the stockade. It's Jim. He's climbing over. He's safe. Come, my lad, we're right glad to see you. What have you to report? Mr. Trelawney, Doctor, Captain, they're not only buccaneers, but murderers. And I met a castaway. All right, Jim. You can tell us inside. Back to cover, everyone. Man your posts. They're attacking. How is the captain? Badly hit. But he'll do if we can keep him quiet. A bad business. But there's 1 or 2 of the enemy out of action too. Yes, I must go and see to them. Are you mad? Not a bit of it. I'll carry a flag of truce, and I'll take young Jim. I'm interested to meet his new friend. Jim? Where are you? Jim, come here. Begging your pardon, sir, he ain't here. What do you mean? I saw him jump over the stockade and off into the woods, sir, this 5 minutes ago. Gone? First, Smollett is wounded, and now Hawkins deserts us. And I would have staked my life. Young Jim was to be trusted. Jim had decided to use Ben Gunn's coracle and return to the Hispaniola. Come aboard, Mr. Hans. Brandy. That depends on how you behave. Much hurt? If that doctor was aboard, I'd be right enough. And as for that swab there, he warn't no seaman. Anyhow. But where might you have come from? Thanks to Ben Gunn's homemade boat, I've come aboard to take possession of this ship, Mr. Hans. You'll please regard me as your captain until further notice. Well, I haven't no choice. It's you as the wind of me. Suppose we talks. Well, yes, Mr. Hans. Say on. That man there, that man and me, we got the canvas on her to save her in, but he's dead. Dead as bills. And we're adrift. But I'm not going into the old anchorage. I mean to get into North Inlet and beach her there. There's fine flat sand there. For to beach a ship on. You just take my orders, Captain Hawkins, and we'll save her slapping. I'll help you save her, by thunder I will. So Jim and Israel Hans sailed the Hispaniola up to North Inlet. So that's done. The ship beached, good and sound, and my duty finished. I reckon, Master Captain Hawkins, as it's my turn now. You may carry a brace aback as my young cook, but I can still throw a handy knife. One more step, Mr. Hans, and I'll blow your brains out. The fools, they don't deserve anything. Now to wade ashore and back to the stockade to make my excuses to the captain. Inside the blockhouse that night. Who goes? Here, hold him. Bring a torch. Oh, here's Jim Hawkins dropped in. Well, now my cock. It looks like you'll have to join Captain Silver. Am I to answer that? No one's pressing you. If I have to choose, I have a right to know why you're here and where my friends are. Well, yesterday, Mr. Hawkins, there comes Dr. Lucy with a flag of truce to tend the sick and tell us the ship was gone, which is true. He offers to bargain, and so we did. And here is us in the blockhouse, and your lot cleared out, and I don't know where they are. Well, there's a thing or two I can tell you. Here are you, in a bad way, and if you want to know who did it, I did. You? Yes, me. I was in the apple barrel the night you plotted with Dick and Israel Hans, who is now dead. I boarded the schooner after cutting her cable and brought her to where you won't find her. The laughs on my side. You young swab. One thing I'll say, if you spare me, I'll save you all. I can, when you're in court for piracy. Better spare your witness and escape the gallows. I'll bear that in mind. I'll put one to that. It was him that knowed Black Dog. First and last, by thunder, we've been split by Jim Hawkins. Then here goes. Avast then, George Mary. Maybe you think you're captain here. By the powers, I'll teach you better. I'm captain, and by thunder you'll obey. That boy is more a man than any pair of rats of you here. Let me see him that'll lay a hand on him. That boy, why, blast me, he's a hostage. We may have lost the ship, but maybe you didn't know there was an escort following. We'll see who'll be glad of a hostage then. As for letting the enemy go, I made a bargain, didn't I? And what do you suppose I got from my bargain? You dirty swabs? Why, the chart, of course. The chart to guide us all to the treasure. Inside the blockhouse next morning. Here's the doctor. Top of the morning, sir. All doing nicely, and we're a stranger here, a little stranger. Not Jim Hawkins. The very same. Then I wish to have a talk with him. No. Silence. Doctor, we're grateful for your kindness. Hawkins, will you give me your word of honor not to slip your cable? Certainly I will. Then, Doctor, the men will step outside. Outside, you swabs. You make a note, Doctor, and the boy'll tell you how I saved his life. Why, John? You're not afraid? Doctor, I own I've the shakes upon me for the gallows. But you're a good man, and you'll not forget what I done. I know, so I'll step aside and leave you and Jim alone. So, Jim, here you are. I should have been dead now but for Silver. Come down to the stockade and run for it. No, I passed my word and Silver trusted me. But if they torture me and I let slip about the ship... The ship? She's in North Inlet on the beach. Hans and the other man are dead. Never mind now. Why, every time you save our lives. Silver! Yes, Doctor? A word of advice. Don't be in any great hurry after the treasure. Why, sir, I can only save my life and the boy's now by seeking for it. Then look out for squalls when you find it. Goodbye, Jim. Jim, I heard the doctor ask you to run for it and you said no. You and me must stick together and we'll save our necks in spite of fate and fortune. Aye, mates, I got what I wanted, sure enough. They have the ship and we'll find it. But now we're going after the treasure and taking our young hostage with us. Spyglass Hill. There you are, mates, the tall tree. Aye, there it is. Come on, lads, the fortune ours. What's this? Somebody's been a-digging. By thunder, some blasted thief has been here before us. It's gone. The treasure's gone. Jim, stand by for trouble. John Silver, this is your £700,000, is it? You're the man for bargains, are you? You're him that never bungled nothing, you wooden-headed lubber. I tell you, mates, that man there knew it all along. There's two of them alone there. Now, mates... Forward, lads. Double quick. Thank you, Doctor. You came in about the nick of time. We've got two of them, but the rest got away. And so it's you, Ben Gunn. Yes, I'm Ben Gunn, I am. How do, Mr. Silver? Pretty well, I thank you, says you. Ben Gunn, to think you'd done me. Yes, Silver. Years ago, he found the treasure and carried it to a cave in North Inlet, where Jim was kind enough to beach the ship, and where Captain Smollett is waiting to sail us home. Here comes Mr. Trelawney. I see you got here in time, Jim. Thank God you're safe. And as for you, John Silver, come back to my duty, sir. You're a prodigious villain and a monstrous imposter. Yes, sir. Bah, come all of you, away from this accursed place. Well, Jim, lad, you won. But I shall remember my promise to speak for you in court. Aye, Jim, aye. If you ever get me there, where there's many a port between here and Bristol, and many a way for a seafaring man to slip his cable and make a living, an honest living too, by thunder. Gentlemen of fortune ain't got prospects no more. Flint was the last of them. Aye, old Flint that beat me in the end. Him and his blasted song. 15 red on a deckman's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink, and the devil had done for the rest. Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum.
Very good.